General Grievous was one of the titans of the Clone Wars, whose campaigns of terror spread fear across the galaxy. And who knows just how many lives were lost due to this khaleesh cyborg's actions. Now, personally, I love Grievous. He is one of the best characters from the Clone Wars era. However, I've recently been rewatching the Clone Wars series, and I've got to admit, Grievous did really make some massive mistakes. Within the first few episodes, he lost the Malevolence, the CIS's superweapon. He failed to destroy the cloning facilities on Kamino. And this is just a few. We're not even mentioning the sheer amount of warships Grievous abandoned. It's kind of astonishing, and this does beckon the question: how was Grievous never demoted from his position? It's undoubtable in my mind that if someone like Admiral Yularin would have gone and lost an entire fleet worth of ships and continuously threw away resources on foolish endeavours, then the Republic would have replaced him. But the Separatists didn't. Now, we have discussed previously that Grievous is a great commander in so many ways, and we will talk about this in a minute. However, we know that the Separatist Council hated him, and considering his very reckless use of their very expensive assets, it's pretty easy to see why. And although Dooku was undoubtedly the one who kept him around, again, it's not very obvious why this is. After all, Dooku tried to have Ventress killed after just a couple of failures. Why exactly was this khaleesh basically immune from repercussions? I do also really quickly want to note that a contributing factor is the fact that the Separatists just didn't really have a lot of commanders available. It's one of the main reasons why they relied on super tactical droids. But if anything, Grievous serves as an example why super tactical droids were actually quite useful. At the end of the day, they wouldn't act recklessly. In fact, the opposite, they would always go with the pragmatic choice. But there was other commanders, such as Admiral Trench, who were very proficient tacticians. So although the Separatists didn't have access to huge amounts of military commanders, that isn't the sole reason why Grievous was kept around. So firstly, I want to start by saying what Grievous does bring to the table, and it's quite a lot. He kills numerous Jedi throughout the war, and frankly is a pretty good commander. A reckless one, but a good one. There are very few individuals who could beat a Jedi Master such as Eth Koth in combat, or send Kit Fisto fleeing. And that's a big incentive to Dooku to keep him around. The Jedi had been hailed as heroes by much of the galaxy for millennia, great warriors and bringers of peace, and Grievous kind of ruins this image. The idea that the Jedi were invincible and heroes is brought to a pretty crushing reality when someone can butcher so many of them. Now granted, so could Dooku, or potentially even Ventress, but Grievous was different, because Grievous wasn't affiliated with the Jedi or the Force at all. In the eyes of many, he was an abomination. He was just a regular alien without any superpowers. And this ultimately kind of points out that it doesn't matter how powerful with the Force the Jedi are, they're still weak, they're still mortal, and they can still die. And this is an important message to the galaxy. A galaxy who doesn't believe in the power of the Jedi will bend more easily to Sidious's will once they're gone. The idea that only a Jedi or somebody who was once a Jedi could kill a Jedi is just ridiculous. And Grievous proves that. Arguably, he was a greater warrior than most Jedi out there. Now, Grievous also had some other amazing trait that is perfect for Dooku and Palpatine's needs. And that is, well, to put it bluntly, he's a monster. Grievous is a war criminal, and that is an understatement. He didn't care about laws or rules of conflict. He was just straight up going to destroy a medical center with the Malevolence, which was a war crime on a level that's just insane. Simply put, Grievous did not care. He was the ultimate enemy of the galaxy. Not only this, but he was an alien and part droid. And for all those humans who Palpatine wanted to make hate aliens and hate droids to push his own agenda, the existence of someone like Grievous just affirmed this, and he was perfect. Now, the final point, and possibly one of the biggest that I want to make, was that honestly, I think that both the Separatists, and to an extent Dooku and Palpatine, were a little bit scared of Grievous. Grievous, at the end of the day, is a bit of a wild card. He lacks any real allegiance, he's not really a separatist. He quite obviously does not care about the cause he fights for. And he's no Sith, therefore he has no allegiance to Palpatine's plans. He is simply an agent of hate. He uses the CIS and he uses that movement and its wealth of resources to his own ends. You could say that at the end of the day he is incredibly bitter, to the point where he's basically just running out of spite. He's angry about his own circumstances, so all he really wants to do is watch the galaxy burn. Not for love or profit, because he's angry and he wants revenge against the people who he believes have wronged him, the Republic and the Jedi. And at the end of the day, I think Dooku and Palpatine knew this. Grievous got the reputation of being a coward in the war, and this is something that I don't really agree with. He blatantly isn't a coward. The way he battled some of the greatest warriors in the galaxy proves that. He just doesn't really care about the cause that he's fighting for. He has no reason to die fighting for the CIS, nor the Sith. He survives so he can fight another day. He is above all else very pragmatic. If he dies, then what does he gain? He's not going to become a martyr for the Separatists. His death does not mean that he gets what he wants. The only way he can continue to push his own agenda, which is taking revenge against the Republic and the Jedi, really is just fighting and continuing to survive so he can continue to fight. Which is very strange considering how aggressive he does actually behave on the battlefield. But as soon as he thinks he can't win, he leaves. And that's very smart. Say what you want about him, but pride wouldn't be his downfall. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the Sith knew this. They knew that if a time came when Grievous felt threatened, he would have no qualms about turning on the CIS. And although he has no interest in siding with the Republic because he hates them and he hates the Jedi far more than anything else, if someone knew what Grievous knew and could do what he could do, and they went rogue, so to speak, the results would be catastrophic. He could not only bring down the CIS, but also Palpatine's entire plans. And this is kind of the point. You know the old rumour that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and this is very, very true in Grievous's case, and that's why he's kept around. Grievous may be rash, brutal, and frankly treacherous, but Palpatine and Dooku can manipulate that. He hates the Republic and the Jedi more than anything, so as long as they keep him in their good graces, he wouldn't really do anything that could ever aid the Jedi or Republic. So to conclude, in my mind anyways, it just doesn't really make sense to ever demote Grievous. Now, if the Separatist Alliance was a faction that was actually fully committed to winning the war, then definitely, he would have been cast out, court-martialed, and likely imprisoned or executed. But simply put, he just brought far too much to the table, and the risk of him flipping said table was just too high. And this is maybe something that should have stood out to the Separatist Council members. Why exactly were Dooku and Palpatine so keen to keep this, frankly, monster around? He failed numerous times, he was very dangerous, and frankly, he just didn't seem loyal. That should have been a pretty big red flag. But what do you guys think? Why was Grievous never demoted? And what would have happened if Dooku did try to get rid of the khaleesh warlord? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please remember to like, share and sub, as it is really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also, please don't forget to tick the bell and follow me on Twitter at @TheLawGuy to make sure that you get regular updates whenever I do upload. Just as a minor thing, I did recently look on my analytics, and it turns out like 40% of people who actually watch the videos are subscribed, so that's like 60% of you guys who aren't, and like, you know, we'd love to have you. But most importantly, thank you for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you're all staying safe, and I'll see you next time.